Hey, welcome everybody. Just wanted to test my audio levels for my voice before I get started. So if anybody can reach out to me in chat and let me know how I sound, that'd be great. Thanks. Sounds good. Alrighty. Let's get started. All right, welcome everybody. This is Chuck Wirt's update to the Game of Thrones walkthrough. If you're not familiar with my walkthrough on Game of Thrones, I did a, believe it or not, 5-part tutorial that's on YouTube at my channel, Chuck Wirt on YouTube. You can also find the videos at Straight Down the Middle Pinball's YouTube channel. On my channel, Chuck Wirt, I have a nice little playlist that has them all lined up together if you want to see them all and go through them all. But essentially today is going to be a walkthrough update for the new code that dropped this past year in July. Dwight did a really awesome, pretty massive update to the game that really brought in a lot of new callouts, added some a bunch of features to all the houses. He gave added powers to pretty much every single house in the game. We'll get into that a little bit later, but what I wanted to cover today was specifically what has changed with this new code across all games. I know we're going to be playing on a premium today, but I'm only going to be focusing on the rule changes that apply to all games. So next weekend we will cover the premium/LE specific rules, but today we're just going to cover the rule changes with this new code update that apply to all games. Okay. So, first thing we got on our list, if you check there on the screen, we're going to talk about playfield validation and playfield multiplier changes. Before, when you started a game, you could hit some minor switches and not validate the playfield. I cover all that in my initial tutorial. What I'm going to cover here today are the changes in the new code. What Dwight changed was before you could hit the drop targets before, and those would count as a minor switch. Now they immediately validate the playfield. So as on my first plunge here, I hit a few slings so the playfield validated. But just keep in mind, I think in the original tutorial I suggest hitting the drops and getting working towards your out lanes while you don't have a validated playfield. Now, once you hit one drop, it's validated. So keep that in mind. Outside of that, the playfield validation rules have not changed. So remember to always short plunge, coming in and out of a ball save, a lock. Anytime you got a ball to the shooter lane, make sure you're doing that short plunge so you can take advantage of that playfield validation. Good morning. Welcome. So, playfield multipliers, the changes there. For the playfield multipliers, they still work the same way they did before, except the way the timers worked have changed a little bit. Dwight, I believe, has increased the max amount of time you can have a playfield multiplier running. To increase that timer, you shoot the battering ram periodically. But the big thing to remember is the playfield multipliers have not changed in that you can let the playfield multipliers time out, and during a small grace period, after the light goes out, if you hit the battering ram, it will restart and refresh those timers fully. So when you're playing the game, wait for those timers to time out completely, go black, hit the battering ram, and then they'll all come back for full timer. Oh, and also, no change from before, but just remember that playfield multipliers are limited when you start a game. You can only get to 3x to start a game, and then you need to collect 2 swords at the right ramp to unlock the rest of the multipliers. Okay? That hasn't changed either. So that's pretty much it for playfield validation and the playfield multiplier. So not a ton that changed there. Next, we're going to talk about modes and wizard modes. So the modes are the house battles in the middle of the game. I'm going to specifically talk to the modes that have actually changed. There's only a couple house modes that have changed. One is the Baratheon mode, which we'll show you right here. So the changes that were made to the Baratheon mode, the rules itself for playing it are the same. It's just the scoring that's changed. So when you play the Baratheon mode now, you are limited to the amount that you can collect at the end. So as we discussed in the initial tutorials, is you want to rip the spinner to build up a value. So when you rip the spinner, you can see on the DMD the value building up. That value now maxes out at 150 million. But the process for collecting the value is still the same. You shoot the dragon kickback next. Let's give another rip to the spinner since we got it on the left flipper. So you can see if you got a juice spinner, you can get to that 150 pretty quick. This mode has a nice long timer just like it had before. So see, you can see that 150, it's not going to go up anymore. To collect it, you're going to hit the dragon kickback and then hit the drops just like you would in the original code. But I can't hit the dragon kickback worth of shit. But anyway. So that's how that mode changed. The next mode that changed was Greyjoy, but it had a very minor tweak. In Greyjoy, it's still the 5 purple hurry-ups. It's still the 5 purple hurry-ups, but the timers for each hurry-up have increased. I think they were 12 seconds before. They might be 15 to 20 seconds now, so that mode doesn't time out quite as quick as it used to. So we won't quite go into playing that mode until we get to the gameplay part next, but that's all that changed there. So all the other house modes, as far as I know, the rules are completely the same for completing the house battles, okay? Next are wizard modes. So on wall multi-ball, winner has come multi-ball, and hand of the king multi-ball, all those ball saves have been increased with this new code. So if you were like me and completely avoided wall multi-ball before because the ball save was so quick and you just couldn't get anything going, you might want to revisit that because you might have more success with it now, especially if you pick Baratheon as your house, and we'll get into that later. Also, for multi-balls and wizard modes, the value that Lannister and Targaryen bring into Hand of the King, those bonuses have been reduced. I can't remember exactly what they've been reduced to, but Targaryen added I think 750k to every shot, and Lannister added points to the hurry-ups. So those awards they're still there, they've just been reduced a little bit. Winner has come multi-ball. When you get to that, the scoring has been increased across that multi-ball. So if that's another one that you were kind of avoiding because you weren't doing too well in it, I'd suggest revisiting it and see if you can get some higher scores in that. But the rules for that haven't changed, just the scoring. Also, there was a bug in the old code that if you stacked winner is coming multi-ball with Blackwater multi-ball or wall multi-ball, there was a way that if you kept the balls draining during ball save, the ball save would never time out. So you could play strategically while keeping balls draining during that chaos, that the ball save would never run out. That is no longer the case, so if you like to take advantage of that, you're not going to be able to do that anymore. Also, another change that I just noticed recently, when the balls are auto-launching, I believe in every multi-ball, when the balls are still auto-launching during ball save, I think that they're supposed to make a full orbit now, whereas before, at least in some of the multi-balls, they just kept feeding the pops. So I think those newly launched balls should launch all the way around now. Small change, but again, a change. So yeah, that was pretty much our first 2 items to cover. Now we get to the meat of it, which had very significant changes on the game, which are the individual house powers. So we'll go through each one in depth, but first I wanted to talk about the lock bar button and how that operates now, because that was changed quite a bit as well. The lock bar button can either be flashing or be a solid color. If it's flashing, you really don't need to be too concerned with it, because flashing just means you have some sort of option available to you, like launching the ball or picking a house battle or picking a mystery award, or if your ball save is still running, things like that. If it's flashing, it's not going to really serve any kind of house power purpose. But now if it's lit solid, that means that the house power that you currently have is available to use. And we'll start and we'll go through each house individually. We'll start with Baratheon. So Baratheon, the changes to this house were they added a button ability. So the button ability for Baratheon will allow you to once per ball if you press the center lock bar button when it's lit solid yellow, it will light the outlanes for Lord of Light. But you can see they're flashing. It's only going to stay on for a certain period of time. You can see I pressed it. They stay on for a decent while. So if you feel the balls are getting out of control, blah, 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 press that button to kind of save you if you think the ball's going to go out the outlanes. You can do that once per ball. However, there were other changes to Baratheon that are very significant that I believe make this a very lucrative house to choose, especially if you're a tournament player. Now, Baratheon can advance towards wall multi-ball faster than everybody else, just like they did before, but you can advance to wall multi-ball in different ways. So before, if you were on the Pro, the top lanes, completing those would advance you towards wall multi-ball, and on the Premium, the Dragon Kickback advances you. But now also, every drop target bank completion will also advance you towards wall multi-ball. So see if we can get that last drop target down, and we'll show you. So every time you hit all 3 drops down, that should advance you towards wall multi-ball too. So we'll try it on our next ball here just to show you that you'll get the animation for doing it. But the first thing to remember is you got that button press once per ball, and then your wall multi-ball is going to be easier to get to. The final thing that changed for... Get that drop. Let's see if we can get these last 2 here. There we go. So we should get the animation. See how the clock moved? So that wasn't there before. The final ability for Baratheon is when you do get into wall multi-ball, the scoring is greatly increased. It's roughly double what it is if you aren't Baratheon when you play wall multi-ball. And in my playing, that's a pretty significant benefit. Because with the increased ball save, in that multi-ball and the increased scoring, I mean, before I was having crappy wall multi-balls and they'd be 20, 30 million maybe. Now my crappy wall multi-balls can be 200, 300 million. It's crazy. As long as you get through to like 1 or 2 super jackpots, like you're there. So let's see if we can kind of take advantage of that right now. But obviously we got to wall multi-ball pretty quickly by having Baratheon as our house. The rules haven't changed in this multi-ball, but like I said, if you're Baratheon, the scores are just a lot higher. I still got my button press. I don't want to forget about that. Oh, I just missed it. That's one thing you got to remember, too. It's kind of like Black Knight. You got to be on it or else you'll lose the opportunity. So I hit it too late. The ball had already gone past the switch, so I didn't get my ball save back. So, I mean, you can see just... I did pretty crappy in that multi-ball. I got 1 super jackpot, and I got a pretty good score out of that. So, again, for you tournament players out there, revisit Baratheon as a house. I think some people had this as their favorite house anyway, but I mean, it's very lucrative now, especially if you can keep getting back to that wall multi-ball. Because of using those drops, you can just, before you know it, you'll be back to another one, and then you're playing it again. And so, just keep an eye on that. All right, so that is everything on House Baratheon. Greyjoy. So Greyjoy is just like it was before. You play a house, you get their power if you beat their mode. Their modes are going to be more difficult than the other, had you not picked Greyjoy, just like it was before. The only difference here is you now have those button abilities for every house, okay? The way it organizes those is, let's say you just completed Martell. It's going to give you that Martell add-a-ball button until you beat another house. Once you beat another house, that house's button power supersedes the one you previously had. So you got to really kind of pick and choose when you defeat houses on when you want to specifically use those button powers, because you're only going to have one house's button power at any point in time. All the other abilities for the houses stay, but anything related to the lock bar button is going to change with the most recent house that you defeated, if that makes sense. And we'll get into that later when we're doing the gameplay portion, but I just kind of wanted to talk over Greyjoy because there wasn't really a whole bunch of change to it outside of the priority of how the lock bar powers work. So Lannister. Lannister is the next one, and we'll start a new game for that. So Lannister before collected more gold than everybody else, but that was it. So really, outside of being able to buy some valuable mystery awards, no one picked that house ever. It was the worst one. Now it's arguably the best one. So you not only collect more gold now, you can use your center lock bar button to purchase playfield multipliers at any point. As long as you have enough gold saved up in your bank to buy them, your lock bar button will be lit solid red, which means it's ready to buy the next playfield multiplier. Remember, you're still limited to your playfield multipliers that you've had unlocked. So if you know you have plenty of gold and you're wondering why you can't buy the next multiplier, it's probably because you haven't collected enough swords to be able to advance past that 3x playfield. So keep that in mind. So the gold you collect is a lot more. We'll see if I'll get some balls in on this, and we'll see if we can collect enough gold to buy a multiplier or two. So this is obviously a good house if you can. So we've already collected enough gold. Like I've hit like 2 or 3 shots, and boom, I can pick a multiplier already. So just simply having a 2x playfield multiplier running during this mode can get you a good lead on your opponents if you're a tournament player. So I'm just picking up good value here. Now I probably shouldn't be playing the upper playfield because this doesn't apply to the pro, but you can kind of see what I mean. Like just simply being able to pay for that 2x playfield in a mode is going to really do wonders for you. It also helps to be able to make shots too. Now our playfield multiplier is about to run out. See if we can get it back quick enough to restart the timer. I don't think that's going to be quick enough. Nope. But again, yeah, just being able to not have to worry about that dangerous battering ram shot and just buy it with that button, that can be huge if you're, dialed into specific shots and can really time those multipliers perfectly because you have it at your disposal with that button. Oh, good call, Chris. I didn't realize all the situations that award you gold, but apparently locking a ball gets you 250 gold. I believe the first threshold to be able to buy a multiplier is 1,000 gold. So you don't need that much. But you can look in the README files from Stern. Dwight does a good job of detailing out all the specific items that get you gold and how much gold it gives you for Lannister. But again, hitting the gold targets, locking balls, I think completing the top lanes will get you gold too. But you saw how quickly I was able to buy the first multiplier. So that's definitely a huge advancement for Lannister. Outside of that, no changes. Okay? Next one is probably the one that, at least for me, I was the most excited about. You could not choose Targaryen house until now. Now you can pick House Targaryen. It's got some pretty sweet advantages to it. The main one being it completes all 3 of the Targaryen modes for you. So if you were one of those players that was just super frustrated about getting the Iron Throne because that damn Targaryen house is the only thing standing in your way, Now you have a way to eliminate that need and go to the Iron Throne. Now, some people have complained that this is a little bit too training wheels or whatever, and it makes the Iron Throne too easy. But I mean, if you've been playing this game for years and you haven't been close, at least this allows you a little bit of a kickstart to make it to Iron Throne. And then if you keep making it to Iron Throne and you want more of a challenge, you can pick a different house, which is kind of nice. You just have so many options with this game, which is why I've loved it so much for so many years. So that's the first advantage. It kills all 3 of those dragons for you right off the bat. So again, for Hand of the King, this is a very powerful thing to bring into Hand of the King because it increases all the value of all the shots. So having this in your pocket going into Hand of the King all throughout the game, this is a great house to pick. The other ability is going to be the button ability. So let's get a I want to get a house mode started, and I'll show you how the button ability works. But essentially the button ability is allowing you once per ball to freeze all timers for 12 seconds. So whether that be hurry-ups, playfield multipliers, combo multipliers, mode timers, it freezes everything that has a timer associated with it. Oh boy. So even like if you are in Blackwater Multi-Ball and it's at the super jackpot phase, and you know that has a timer on it, you only have so much time to collect the super jackpots. That will freeze the timer for those super jackpots. It will not freeze the ball save timer, but because of the other timers that you can freeze, I think ball save is the only thing that it will not freeze. So that was a good point. Thanks for telling me that. So you can see it's counting down. Well, now it's stopped because I trapped up. But I hit it, and you can tell it's going on because the GI lights kind of pulsed in and out. But we should still be at like 34 seconds in the mode. Yeah, see, it's paused at 33, even though I'm playing. It should be counting down right now. And all the combos, like everything is freezing this whole time. It's still going on. I like how he added the GI effect. And keeping all those combos and things going, like it allowed you to get, you know, some extra points that you might not have gotten if you didn't freeze all those timers. So that's Targaryen. Those are the 2 things you get with picking Targaryen house. Yes, you can freeze the Stark bonus round and Hand of the King with this power. The more important thing for me is that massive super jackpot hurry up that you can get to in Hand of the King, you can freeze that. So the moment it's lit, hit that button and just take your time because it's going to freeze it at that max value. I've collected that thing so many times where I just fumble around. It takes me forever to get control of the ball, and that value has already decreased a bunch. But you get it there, freeze it, and you got billions at your disposal. You can take your time that's decreasing the longer you take. So that is a next level question, and it was the first thing I wanted to verify when this new code came out. But yes, the Stark bonus round timer will freeze. But again, you got to decide if you're going to use it then, use it later for the big hurry up. Kind of have to pick and choose. But I would definitely freeze it on the Stark bonus round if, say, you got 5x playfield going and combo multipliers out the wazoo, and you can just freeze it and hit that center ramp over and over and over again. That's cash money right there. The Stark bonus round is explained in my initial videos, but basically during Hand of the King, if you bring Stark in, each wave that you complete of Hand of the King, there's a Stark bonus round after you complete one wave of Hand of the King where you have 20 seconds of everything lit free scoring. So that can be huge if you can get into a center ramp looping fest because it will always have that center ramp lit for a jackpot because it's the Stark bonus round. It lights everything. Okay, so we talked about Targaryen. Let's see what's next. Stark. We were just talking about that, so let's talk about them. So Stark's power, still the same as before, but again, Dwight added a lock bar button feature, which is the Dire Wolf. So when you're Stark, once per ball, once per ball, if you're in a mode, you can use the center lock bar button to complete the mode for you. So if you're about to drain or the mode's about to time out, you can use the center lockdown button to finish that mode for you. This is another house that you can pick if you're trying to get to the end of the game. This can help you finish those modes. Okay, you can see I'm obviously not done with the mode yet. My button's lit solid white. That means my power is able to be used. So it uses the dire wolf. It gives you piddly 5 million points, and you've completed the mode. Now, you can see, obviously, people who know Stark mode very well, you can get a pretty high score in that mode if you kind of milk the ramps and then collect on the orbit. So this power is more of a way to ensure that you're getting to Hand of the King or getting to Iron Throne. Bigger scoring opportunities where you can cash in because you're not getting those mode points. So it's kind of a pick and choose of, okay, do I just want to race to Hand of the King because I'm confident I can do well there? It's kind of up to you. But that's how the Stark power works. Now, the next question would be, and let's try and get a couple modes lit here, is what if we have 2 modes running? How does it decide which mode it finishes for you? Because it's only going to finish one. If you have 2 modes stacked, so I'm going to try and get Lannister mode lit as well. So we're going to pass on grass here. There we go. All right. Well, I should drain. We don't have our power anymore. So we'll get to the next ball because we can only do this once per ball. We already used it on this ball. So we'll get back up there and I'll show you. Oh, we didn't have a mode lit to start the ball? That's lame. I thought it always had your modes lit to start a ball. Learned something new there. We'll have to light another house mode in order to be able to play a house mode. That's one of the new call-outs, if you could hear it, and that call-out is badass. Oh yeah, we almost got Baratheon lit there. One more. Okay, so we're going to stack 2 modes together, and I'll show you how to tell which one it's going to give you. So you can always see it's got the things, the screen split down the middle for the 2 modes you're going to do. It's going to complete the mode that's on the left. So we got our lock bar button ready to go. It's going to complete Baratheon. Boom. So if you're strategically trying to figure out, okay, which one do I want to kill? Do I not want to kill? You might want to hold off on pressing the button if the left one is not the one you want to kill. Alrighty. So that is the Stark power. Again, the only addition there was your lock bar button, which it'll allow you to kill 1 mode per ball. So again, I suggest that for if you're trying to race towards Hand of the King or Iron Throne. But again, you better hope that you do well in those modes, so again, it's going to complete Lannister this time. So we completed 3 modes this game. We're super close to Hand of the King by not really doing anything. Okay, so you can see how pretty easy it can be to get to Hand of the King. Boom. So make a few shots and you're Hand of the King. Okay. So also, if people are wondering, well, how does that apply to Targaryen? Can I just start that and it'll finish all 3? It's only going to kill one of the dragons, okay? So if you're in Targaryen, what I suggest doing, I usually can make it through the first 2 Targaryen modes pretty easily. So maybe if you have one more direwolf in your pocket, save that for Targaryen 3, and then you don't have to worry about surviving. You got to make a lot of shots in Targaryen 3 to kill that dragon. So save that last one if you can for killing that final dragon. All right, Martell. Martell's easy. Absolutely no changes. If you want to know how Martell works, go back to my previous videos, and it's covered in detail there. Last one, Tyrell. Pretty minor change with Tyrell. If you remember before, the lock bar button was the Iron Bank before. It worked throughout every house, and basically by making combos, you're increasing the value that's in the Iron Bank. Basically, Tyrell is the only house that has the Iron Bank now, and is still there, and the value's been increased. So basically, as you make combos in the game, once you make enough of them and there's enough value in the Iron Bank, it becomes available at your center lock bar button. But if you remember, if you cash in the Iron Bank, it kills all your multipliers and cashes them all in. So if you have 5x playfield running and you cash in the Iron Bank, it immediately kills all the 5x playfield you had running, but it will apply that to your Iron Bank cash in. Just to let people know, it's kind of hard to build it up, but you can get a pretty good cash in with Tyrell's Iron Bank. If you got a nice long ball and you haven't cashed it in, you got a bunch of playfield multipliers just coming out of like Hand of the King, and you don't have much else running and they're about to run out anyway, I'd cash that in, because I've gotten a few 400 million out of one cash in. So it's nothing to sneeze at, but you got to have a pretty long ball with a bunch of combos and really build up that value. And it's kind of hard to keep track of where your Iron Bank sits at. I'm not sure if in the instant info it shows you what your Iron Bank is, but that would be great. Let's see. This instant info is one of the most common. So that would be helpful, so you can constantly see, okay, I currently have this much in the bank. I know if I times that by 5x, that's going to be huge, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. But unfortunately, you can't keep track of that. So you kind of just have to say, all right, I've had a long-ass ball. I'm about to lose all these multipliers anyway. Let's see what I get. That is a good question. I haven't played Tyrell a ton. So what somebody asked was, if I don't cash in my Iron Bank, will that value carry over to the next ball? It didn't in the old code, so I believe that's still the case in this new code. But I apologize, I didn't know that. But so I have the Iron Bank. Oh shit! Not sure why it went out. I had my button lit, but it went out. Maybe I didn't have enough combos yet. So combos are the flashing red arrows. So if you're making those a bunch during your ball, you're gonna get Iron Bank stuff. So I've made a few combos there. Let's cash it in and see what we get. So I made a couple 2-3 combos and got almost 3 million. So you can see across a long ball, that's going to grow and grow and grow and grow times playfield multipliers. That could be worth your while. Okay, thanks for the confirmation, Chris. So the value does not carry over ball to ball. So you want to, just like before, if you're draining, cash out your Iron Bank and just get what you get. Because it's not going to carry over. So you might as well cash it in every ball. That's Tyrell. So that is the house mode changes. Okay. The last few things we're going to cover won't take too long, and then we're just going to play the game and see if we can blow it up. All right. And just remember, next weekend I'm going to cover the premium/LE rules. These are going to be the rules that only exist in the premium and the LE. So everyone that's been wanting that for their premium and LE games, I got it coming. I'm glad I waited this long, because now I only need to do one and not do one and then an update for the new code. So just bear with me. Next weekend we'll have that done, and then we should be wrapping this up, and that should be all you need for Thrones. All right. So the next thing is going to be Mystery Awards. So just a couple things I want to talk about with Mystery Awards. The way you light mystery is the same as it always was. You got to hit all the gold stand-ups around the playfield. I'm missing one there on the left ramp. Once you collect those, the mystery will light at the dragon shot on the pro or the right orbit on the premium. There was just a few mystery awards added because of the new house power abilities. Now in the mystery, if you have enough gold, you can buy the Lannister, the Martell, and the Baratheon button powers. So if you see those in mystery and you purchase them, you will have that house's button power and for the rest of the game, unless you go back into mystery and buy another house's power later. But Lannister, Baratheon, and Martell are now mystery awards. Outside of that, I don't believe any of the mystery awards have changed. Please someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure those are the 3 that were added and none were taken away. I'm not going to cover competition install changes, but I am going to cover the adjustments you can now make with the new code. All competition install does is go through your game and make a preordained set of adjustments to your game. So what I'd rather cover is telling people all the adjustments they can make to their game, and competition install just basically picks and chooses a lot of those adjustments and makes them really difficult. On the pros, the mystery shot is the dragon. There was a bug before where if it was lit for mystery or extra ball, when you shot it up the dragon kickback, it would award you 2 shots on the dragon. Okay, that was beneficial for me when I was trying to light the Targaryen mode and get two shots credited for 1. That no longer occurs. So anytime you hit the dragon, you're only going to get credit for 1 shot there. That's pretty much it for mystery. Again, they just added a few things, so keep in mind you got some pretty powerful mystery awards out there now with being able to buy those house powers. Next is the spinner. So, let's start a new game and look at this. So, Dwight and others decided that the spinner rules before were way too powerful. Basically, before you could, with drop target bank completions, if you got enough of them, you would increase the value of the spinner so high that combined with playfield multipliers, you could get 400 million on one spinner rip. So they decided that was way too much. I agree. So now the spinner level is limited to how many houses you have completed, okay?
Choose your house.
At the start of the game, you're only limited to level 1. Now, if you hit the battering ram or complete drop target banks, the spinner will increase, but it's a very nominal amount. There's 8 possible levels that you can get to. You're limited to the level of the houses you've completed plus 1. Okay, so I'm limited to level 1 right now because I haven't completed any houses. Once I complete 1, I'm limited to level 2, and so on. So if you complete all 7 houses, there's 7, right? You can get to level 8. I think Dwight's notes mention 9 levels, but in my testing, I wasn't ever able to get to a 9th level. But based off his logic, completing houses plus 1, level 8 makes sense because there's only 7 houses. So 8 levels. Here are the approximate spinner values of each level. So if you're on level 1, it's going to be around 30,000 a tick, then 60,000 for level 2, then 150k per tick on the spinner, then 250k, 400k, 500k, 650k, and then if you're all the way at level 8, it's going to be in the 750 to 850k per tick of the spinner. So that gets pretty valuable. Plus playfield multiplier. So if you have 5x times your 800k, that's some good money on a good spinner rip. So you can get back to the point where you get 150 to 250 million per spinner rip, but you got to get all the way through the game and hit that drop target bank down a bazillion times. So whereas before that value could jump up a lot sooner, now you kind of don't want to really pay attention to the spinner unless you're in a really tight game where both players have kind of made it pretty far. I would check your instant info and go all the way to the end. It'll tell you how much you're getting per tick on the spinner. So if you're within 40, 50 million of some person, like in a tournament or something like that, or getting your next high score on your home machine, if each spinner rip is giving you, 20, 30 million a rip, you can get into a good, safe process of backhanding that spinner, ripping it, getting your points, coming back to a nice little trap again, and just keep doing it over and over again. So if you're kind of close, it might behoove you to still play that spinner really good if you got a decent value there. So just keep an eye on that. But again, if you were planning on getting billions from the spinner, which you could before, that's going to be much, much, much more difficult now. Yeah, the instant info, like I said, is amazing on this game. It does kind of stink that you can't see where your iron bank's currently at. That would have been helpful, but no big deal. So that is the spinner. And like I would be more than happy to go through and like so you can see this first level. It's pretty minuscule, but each drop target bank completion you get down, it's going to nominally increase it, but you're limited to the houses you've completed. So I can't get past level 1 until I complete a mode. And in my testing, it seemed to be pretty much every 3 completions, it'll jump to that next value of scoring. So since we got our out lanes lit, let's see if we can't hit these drop targets down a few times. And the other bugaboo is you have to do this in one ball, because the value of the spinner is going to go back down to level 1. Now, the amount that you can advance the spinner to, like, it doesn't bring you... You can still get to whatever level you can get to based off your houses, but it will go back down to level 1 when you drain. So just for shits and giggles, let's check on the value of our spinner in the instant info. So I'm still on level 1, 38.50 a spin, but now when I jump to level 2, that should go up quite a bit. Now when I said 30k for level 1, I must have hit down a bunch of drop target banks. So we should be at level 2, I think, now. So let's see what that says. Still at level 1, but see how it jumped up to 34,000? Oh, damn it. So I think I might have had, but we can kind of see like what I'm getting at. It takes a lot of drop target banks completed, but just know if you're super late in the game and need some quick, easy points, that spinner might be your ticket. Yeah, one of the things I wish, I got the game up to level 8 during testing just to see how valuable I could make it. It seems that the spinner sound that used to be there when it was super value was this really high-pitched ting that the spinner would make. It was awesome. I think that went away with this new rule set that Dwight did. I kind of wish that was there for the later levels so you have that audible, like, hey, the spinner's crazy right now. Maybe you should concentrate on that. I really liked that before, so I'll say to see that go. But so that's the spinner. Now, the last thing I want to cover before we just play and have some fun are the adjustments that were made to the game. Like the menu adjustments. So we'll get into those, and I'll show you. So I think most of the, Dwight added individually controlled brightness for the GI, flashers, and the inserts. So if you have the premium or the LE and you're like me and you're kind of photosensitive to crazy light shows, you can dumb down those inserts and the flashers to a level that you won't lose that awesome effect, and it also won't blind you while you're playing. So it's nice to have that option. Lost ball recovery is just if a ball gets stuck, the game will eventually send out a new ball to play, and it'll play with one less ball. Outside of that, the standard adjustments are pretty much the same. I don't think there's any other new ones. The tilt debounce is new too. This is telling the game how long it's going to ignore the tilt bob hitting the ring when you're shaking the game. So if you put this all the way to 0, it's going to be just like a Bally Williams game where like once it hits that ring 3 times, you're dead. But here, this is dialing in that that code that it has a grace period before it'll register another tilt bob hit. I think that's pretty much it for the standard ones. Now we'll look at the let's see here. I disabled my throne because I've been having issues with it. That's no change there. Okay. Player house choice. This is a new one. So you can either let the players choose which house they're going to be. You can force everyone to play a specific house when you start the game. You can force every player to play a random house. Player's choice. So as a tournament director, if I want to easily make the game not play as long, I might force everyone to play as Tyrell or Lannister, something that won't extend the game any further. Like I like to pick Martell, that'll keep multi-balls going, games going longer. So that's a nice one for tournament directors to have at their disposal. Let's see here. Action button, action, each separate house. And this back to being Iron Bank only if you want to get rid of all the house powers. I don't know why you would, but so here, the Lannister buttons. On default, you're limited to 8 Lannister buttons per game, okay? I forgot to mention that before. Some tournament directors like to limit it even further to 4, which I like as well. But again, you have the option to... You can give somebody 12 if you want. But default's 8. Targaryen freeze time, like I mentioned, starts at 12 seconds. You can up that or down that, whatever you want to do. Also, when you pick Targaryen house, you can have it complete all dragons for you. 1, 2... Now, if you pick 1 or 2 dragons completed, the game will give the player an initial bonus right off the bat. So, let's do 2 dragons completed. And I'll show you what I mean. If you change that, and someone picks Targaryen house, it's going to spot them points, kind of like on Monopoly. So... Instead of killing all 3 dragons, I selected for it to kill 2. You can see it gave us 60 million. It gave us 30 for each dragon. So if I selected 1 dragon killed, the moment I plunge, I have 30 million points. So if you go change in settings, just be aware if you mess with this one, it's gonna spot people points. So I like to leave mine at kill them all or kill none. So I think you can either do 1, 2, or all. So I recommend leaving it on all. And if you're worried about people getting to Iron Throne too easily by picking this house, make them pick another house or do whatever you need to do. Dire Wolf, same thing. You can do it once per ball, no button. 3 per. You can say per game. So you got some options there. Sword Unlock, that was there before. That was there before. There before. Let's see. So here's your increased timers. I think that wall multi-ball was like 15 or 10 seconds before. I think Dwight improved the video mode a little bit, maybe. I think there were some bugs with that, depending on how you were playing it. Okay, so I think that's about it. But like essentially all of the new stuff that was added, you're able to individually control and dial in those house powers if you want to. So, believe it or not, I think that was extremely fast for my for my walkthrough's sake. So it didn't take too long, a little under an hour to get through all the stuff for the new code that applies to all games. Okay, so for the rest of the time I'm going to stream, we're just going to play through this, and I'll kind of talk through stuff that I've been liking to do recently. And then, like I said, next weekend we'll dive into the premium/LE specific rules. But thanks again, everybody, for watching. Please let me know if anything I talked about you need clarification on. I'll keep an eye on chat, and I'll answer anything that I can. And please let me know if I missed anything or misspoke, because there's a lot to digest, and I'm sure I missed stuff. Oh boy. Thanks, Chris. Hopefully during the whole tutorial my camera stayed okay. I've been having some issues with my cameras freezing every once in a while, so hopefully all that stayed okay during the whole tutorial piece.
A man is not Jack and Hagar.
Awesome. So glad I was able to help. Hopefully we'll get you dialed in on all the LE and premium rules next weekend. And that's going to be one where I might not know as much as some of you other guys, especially you, Chris, since I just haven't had the premium for very long. So there could totally be things that I'm just not well versed, like, or not understanding correctly. So if you got time next weekend, Chris, to tune back in at noon, that'd be awesome. That way we can make sure we got everything covered so people can go back later and reference. Feels good to be playing some Game of Thrones. I haven't played in forever. Don't panic, Flip. Since I have gotten the premium, now take this from someone that owned the Pro for almost 4 years and put, 6,000 plays myself on it. I played that thing to death. So, funny enough, before this came out, I was ready to move on to the premium. I knew I wanted to have Game of Thrones still in the house, but I just wanted to try the different game. I had a feeling I most likely wouldn't like it as much, but I went ahead and got it anyway. And then right after I decided to make a deal, I was trading with Trent Augenstein. It was a really nice deal. Traded in my Pro, paid him some cash, and got the premium. But Dwight came out with the new code, like right as I was working out this deal. So got to test the code on the Pro, got used to that, and then brought the premium in-house. I will say, for what I knew about the premium code before, it didn't seem like the upper playfield added much to the game at all. Now, correct me if I'm wrong from people in chat, but now the upper playfield is excellent. From what I understand before, the Castle Multiball wasn't worth very much. Now it's worth so much more. The first 2-3 months I had this game, all I did was play for Castle Multiball, and it was a blast. I love the rules for that. We'll cover those next weekend, but for me, the premium and the LE are fantastic. If you can deal with the little bit of stop and go that it adds to the game with the extra mechanisms and things, I think it's a fantastic game, and I prefer it to the Pro now. It just, with all that stuff he added to the upper playfield, it just, there's so much more game there now. So that's my take on it. But again, I played the hell out of the Pro, and I've had my time with it, so I was getting the premium regardless of the new code anyway. But especially with the new code, I think it's a better game.
Great.
Hey, biddies. Thanks, Spider-Pim.
All one. Locked. To the castle.
Damn it.
Widow's Wail.
I'm getting better at the Baratheon button. I was terrible at it before.
Lock is lit. Lightbringer.
Yeah, I'm really loving Baratheon. that was lame. I promise Castle Multi-Ball is more fun than that. I just did terrible.
Ball 2 locked.
Yep. And I thought that was a, even though I didn't see it when we were running through the adjustments, I thought that was an adjustment you can make to allow that or not. I think it was nice that even with all these changes Dwight made, he's letting everyone, you know, kind of pick and choose how they want their game to behave. It's
My life to Joffrey's murder. Make your choice.
As far as I know, I don't think it gets any harder to get to Castle Multi-Ball. Except on mine, it's really hard for me to hit that rightmost target from a forehand. That's crazy. Gun Nut, welcome, brother. Thanks for the biddies. All right, let's get the multi-ball going.
Ball 3 locked.
Blackwater! Multi-ball! We cannot let Stannis into these walls. Jackpot! Heart eater.
Jackpot.
Don't walk out on me, you jerk.
Stannis' fleet burns.
So our multi-balls have not been very good. Oh, God. So for someone who is looking to understand the House Stark bonus round, I'll try and get there and call it out when we're in it.
Allow the hand of the king.
So right now I have to complete every single white flashing shot.
Winter's coming.
Oh, fit on there. Damn it. Oh no. That's trouble.
Your luck there.
Sorry, almost got there. We'll have more opportunities.
Amazing.
Yuck. And I don't know if it's the new code or just the premium LE. And I think it has to do with killing modes. And we'll talk about this next week. But killing modes in the upper playfield, I think, really increases your end of ball bonus. Because the end of ball bonus on the premium since I got it, it's crazy. I never noticed that before on a pro. I assume it's because of the shit you're doing in the upper playfield, but I don't know. Oh god. Pass on grass. Actually, let's go to the upper play field. The damn it. All right. Oh, that was crazy. Loop-de-loop. And burn cities to the ground. Man, those Targaryen callouts are incredible now. Let's see what our spinner value's at. Oh, okay. Thanks for the clarification. I'll definitely put that on my list to cover next weekend. 57K a spin.
Ball 2 locked.
Rise now as men of the Night's Watch.
Oh no, you cannot collect castles in the pro. I thought those added to your end of ball bonus in the premium, so I was thinking that will explain the severely increased end of ball bonuses you can see on the premium. Oh, damn it! That's not fun. That's not fun. Oh. Oh, I hit that. There we go.
Lock is lit.
Yeah. Start the joust before I piss myself. That's on the Tyrell targets though, right?
Ball 3 locked.
Oh yeah, gun nut. So before, I don't think the upper play field had that kind of value to it outside of those end of ball bonuses that it could give you. But now it's crazy valuable. Oh, damn it. God. Well, at least I got one of them back. Oh, my God. Don't tell anyone I just had that Blackwater multi-ball. Hang on, ball. All right, let's get back to Hand of the King. Oh God.
Pushing your luck.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Woo. Whoa, baby. Hmm.
Joffrey's murder.
Meet Daenerys Targaryen and decide if the world is worth fighting for.
I demand trial by combat.
What I liked was the new Lord of Light effect that Dwight made. When Lord of Light's lit, it kind of flickers like fire. It's awesome. Dead. Is that ball one? Okay. Hang on, ball.
Ball one, locked.
Red Flag Rifter, you don't get a name. That one's with Debbie, right?
Oh, Eric.
Lock is lit.
Damn.
Winter is coming.
Ball two, locked.
That is brutal.
Red Flag Rifter, you don't get a name. That one's with Debbie, right?
Comp install taking away all your Lord of Lights. No way. No way, sir. All right, let's see if we can do the Stark bonus round.
You are now the Hand of the King.
Damn it. Oh. Terrible.
I was very happy to end.
Sorry, I fucked up again.
Equip yourself.
Also, there's a bug. There's a bug before that would allow you, through Mystery Award, selecting the Super Jackpot. If you took that into multi-ball, it resulted in unlimited Super Jackpots. That is no longer the case. Oh! Alright, let's run that back and see if we can't get to our Stark bonus rounds.
Choose your house.
Winter is coming.
Oh, that was fast. That was fast.
Ice.
The good old-fashioned way. Completing modes the good old-fashioned way.
Well done.
Dead flip that didn't flip. Oh god. Hang on.
Lock is lit.
I will not give my life to Joffrey's murder.
There you go, Chris.
Ball one. Locked.
Damn it.
Bring it.
Oh, that's all right. Almost there. Check spinner level. Forgot to. Sorry. But I did hit a bunch of drops there. So we're going to do Tyrell only.
2. Locked.
Oh, God. All right. Stark bonus round. Let's go. Should just be 4 shots. 5 shots.
You are now the hand of the king.
Give me that orbit. Okay, here we go. This is a Stark bonus round. See how everything's lit? And everything stays lit. So really good players will try and get it set up to where they can just do this. And just keep looping that center shot. Because your lit in lane is going to keep lighting that center shot for combos. Okay, Stark round's over. We're back to the flashing shots. Another Stark bonus round. Terrible. That's pretty good.
I was very happy at the end of the king.
So, if you pick Stark and you're playing in a tournament and you want to race to that hand of the king scoring, by all means, it can certainly benefit you. It's just kind of one of the things you have to decide on who you're playing, what your opponent is, things like that, what you're comfortable with doing. So, yep, happy I could help. Let's see, what we got. All right. So I told my wife I was going to keep this to around an hour and a half, so we're going to call quits here in a minute, but hopefully everyone's got a good handle on the new rules. They're incredible. It made an extremely good game. One of the best games ever made, in my opinion. This game was already incredible. Now it's all-time good. Game of Thrones has certainly stood the test of time for me, but I don't know if it's quite surpassed Walking Dead for me yet. It's just, like, Walking Dead is so tense and so satisfying when you have those good games. It's just hard for me to move off that as the best game I've ever played. Game of Thrones is a little less stress. It has so much to digest, and I love the strategy behind it. But I think Walking Dead still tops for me, but this is close behind it. Really, really good.
What do we
Cool.
say to the god of death?
All right, guys and gals. Thanks everybody for watching. We're going to call it here. So this has been our code 137 update. Please check out my playlist on Chuckwort YouTube. It'll have all my tutorials for Game of Thrones there, including this new update. I'll also put links in all the other videos to go to this one to see for the updates on the new code. And next weekend we'll cover the Premium and LE rules. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Peace.